This is the golden ticket training. Why is it the golden ticket? Because if you can employ what we're about to teach you and you have just a small modicum of skill when it comes to charting, but you can find things that are moving in the direction, either short or long, that you are going, and you are able to control your losses. And as you guys have learned from all the prior trainings that we've put out for you, maximizing success with the average true range, the always winning strategy, the wave trading technique, and success multiplier formula. If you employ those, you know that you only have to be successful 4 out of 10 times to be successful. If you do what? If you control your losses. And that is exactly what we are talking about here. What you see on the screen before you is a little widget available at TradingView. And what does it do? Well, it's on the left-hand side of the screen under Prediction Measurement Tools. You've got a long position and a short position. What we did here is we applied the long position measurement tool because we wanted to jump into an up trade on ADM, Archer Daniels Midland Company. Why? Because it went from a 14 on our success multiplier formula when it backed up and switched over to a 15 in the morning on the morning of April the 6th. So the jumping in point was that morning. It went from a 14 to a 15. 15, of course, means everything is up. Means we're above the 200 EMA. You can see it down below, well above it. Also, we are green when it comes to the 2-day chart as far as the STC goes, and we're green when it comes to the weekly chart. And on all 3 of those, just as a wonderful kicker, we're above the 200 EMA. So when this went from red to green on the STC, it was a no-brainer to jump in. We had a 15 going for us with the success multiplier formula. So bam, we're looking to get in. Now, what I'm teaching is how to set up this little widget so that you're able to minimize losses and maximize gains. Now remember, for my examples, my average trading amount is $100,000. I reduce that amount based upon the risk. That is based upon the loss potential. I want to, in every trade I want to make $2,000 because I'm risking $1,000. We've talked about that in multiple trainings. You have to understand that's my mindset when I go in. So what I'm using is I'm using the average true range to help me figure out the percentage of loss I'm willing to take. Average true range is set at 1. You can set it at 1.5. One of the trainings I do it at that. It really depends on how familiar you are with the stock, how much volatility, how much of a loss you're willing to take. The wonderful thing about using ATR and making sure you adjust your average trading amount based upon volatility is that you are thereby limiting the amount of money that you're putting in, knowing a specific dollar amount you want to make. I want to make $2,000 on every trade. I want to risk $1,000, and so that's just 1% of my $100,000. And people say, Tom, you're putting $100,000 in the market all the time. Aren't you worried about that? Well, I'm risking $1,000. Could there be a systemic market crash and everything goes south, and before I can get out, I lose massive amounts of money? Yeah, that's possible. That is possible. That again is why you want to limit your risk. And that is why if you've got $200,000 to trade and you are again using the success multiplier formula, the wave trading technique, the always winning strategy, and maximizing success with average true range, and you've set your typical trading amount at $100,000, and you're adjusting based upon volatility, you're not going to have $200,000 in the market. You're going to be looking to make 2% on that $100,000, on the $100,000 and the 200 total, but you're going to be into what? A couple of trades. You're not going to be all in all the time in the market where you're risking everything all the time. So common sense. All right, let's talk about how we set up this widget, this profit loss measurement tool is what I'll refer to it as, our profit and loss bands. How do we do that? Well, first thing, as I showed you, you go over here under prediction tools, you initiate the setup of it by clicking that, and it pops up what you see before you. Now, I'm going to go into it and show you why I set it up the way I set it up. You can see there's a specific dollar amount up top, and the dollar amount is $37,008.29. Where did that come from? Well, you can see the risk amount in US dollars is $1,000. You can see the entry price. You can see the profit level and the sell price, your good till canceled sell order amount. And you can see the loss limit at $89.80. Where did all this come from? Well, here's where it came from. As we're looking to jump in this trade, we're going to use the number of the close. It's this number over here. You can see high open, low close. As you shift across the board, when you get to where things were on the 6th of April in the morning, when things had gone to green, what do you look to do? Well, we see that the close, 92.29, that is the figure we're going to be using because we know it's going green. We're buying in around the close. And what do we see? Well, we see that the amount it's going to cost us is around $92.29. That's subject to some fluctuation, but nothing too crazy. We're not going to be jumping into something that is surging up dollars at a time, nothing like that. And what do? Well, we go in over here and we put in $92.29. Then we look over at our ATR, and if we go back, look at ATR. It's right here. I want you to follow the numbers across. You see the 14, that's how many time periods. You can see we're set at 1. You can see the high open, low close divided by 4 for the high open, low close divided by 4 for the low. And what do you see, that red figure? That's the low. That's this red line, the ATR red line on the screen. What is that low number? 89.80. Boom. See it right there? If we go over here to the long position in the chart where we're putting the numbers in, 89.80. You put that 89.80 in, and the minute you enter it, it populates this ticks number at 249. Now, what is that? Well, that's $2.49. Why they don't use dollar amounts, they use ticks. It's probably based upon something to do with some other kind of trading. Those of you familiar with ticks, it's a penny, right? So it's 249 ticks. We know that is what our loss is. Now, if we look on the screen over here, look at that. It's 2.70%. Now, I don't want to lose 2.70%. How much is that if I put $100,000 in the market? Well, that's pretty easy. That's $2,700. I told you guys at the beginning, I don't want to lose more than $1,000. So what does that mean? It means I have to adjust down my average trading amount to meet that desire. So I take $100,000. The math's real easy. I divide it by 2.70. You know what I end up getting? I end up getting $37,037.04. Now you might say, well, Tom, the share price doesn't go into that equally at $92.29. No, you're right. I could get 401 shares at $37,008.29. That's where the account size comes from. So I take 100,000, I divide it by the risk amount. It reduces my risk down to just $1,000. You know how I absolutely know that? Well, if I go to the long position chart here and I look, there's $37,008.29. And if I look over here on the chart, if it goes down and hits the loss limit of 2.7%, look at that, $36,008.29. The most I've lost is $1,000 out of my $100,000 adjusted down based upon volatility or risk I'm willing to take. and boom. And then what happens if the trade goes my way? It goes up 5.4%. And look at that number. It happens to be $2,000 more than the amount I'm putting into the trade. Isn't that wonderful? And the neat thing is, I don't even have to do the math on that. Once you enter the bottom number here on the stop level that you get right there from the ATR, then guess what happens? You put that in, it gives you the number of ticks, it populates that for you. You just double that, and you put that in right there, and it populates your top price, your profit level, which is $97.27. Now, if during the time period you're doing this calculation, you're figuring out how many shares to buy based upon the risk, you're downsizing your purchase amount, the price changes a little bit, no big deal. You can readjust the number of shares you're going to buy. You can readjust. And once you actually do get bought into the position, you might come back and you might change this around to 92.30. Then, of course, you will just adjust things around. If you ended up buying at 35, okay, look what happens. You keep this number the same on the stop level at 89.80. And then you say, oh, look, it's actually 510 clicks. So guess what happens? It makes that adjustment for you on the fly. No problem, no big deal, easy to do, easy to see, easy to figure out. So this is how you use this profit loss measurement tool to be able to set your profit band, your loss band, to keep you on track to winning. And would you like to see how this trade worked for us? Well, it worked quite beautifully. We can see where it went a little bit into the red there on the 13th in the morning, switched back over, going up in the afternoon. But what's so wonderful about it is that we didn't worry about that. We went from a 15 to a 14. We still had the 2-day and the weekly working for us. And look what happened. It popped over going up on Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, hit the profit limit, and sold out automatically because we had already set our profit with our good till canceled sell order the minute that we got into the trade, because we knew exactly what we were doing and why, because we had it all here on our little cheat sheet. We saw how much we were going to put in. We saw what our risk was. We set our buy-in amount. We set our profit levels. We knew what the profit was for a good till canceled sell order. And if things went south, we knew where we were going to get out to limit our losses. Is that not beautiful? That's what I have to bring to you today. I hope you tied this together with those other 4 trainings, and I wish you all the success in the world. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters. If you appreciate what we do, support us on Patreon. Thanks.